Shalom, guys. Welcome back to Reformed Hebrew Ministries. This is going to be a continuation of our Sheol study, where I refute the doctrine of the immortality of the soul. Today we're going to look at Numbers chapter 16. Numbers chapter 16 is one of the better passages that proponents of the immortal soul use to make their case that the soul is, in fact, immortal. And we're going to have a close look at this, because I think with close examination we can see where this passage really breaks down for them too, just like the other ones. So let's just dig right in here. As for the context, I don't think I really need to get too deep into the context for number 16. I'm sure most of you guys are aware the rebellion of Korah. 250 men rebelled against Moses. Moses tells God, don't accept their offerings in the fire pans. God gets mad. He tells Moses that he's going to remove the rebellion. Moses speaks to God, and eventually God opens up the earth and swallows these men up. Now, the word Sheol is used twice here. It's mistranslated to pit both times. I'm going to read the passage here in a second. That's Numbers chapter 16, verses 30 through 33. I guess I'll start here. It says, "But if the Lord creates a new thing, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive in the pit, then you will understand that these men have rejected the Lord. Now it came to pass, as he finished speaking all these words, that the ground split apart under them, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, with their households and all the men with Korah, with all their goods. So they and all those with them went down alive into Sheol. The earth closed over them, and they perished from among the assembly." Now, if you're one of the proponents of the doctrine of the immortal soul, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Joe, how could this be a place of no consciousness if people are going down alive down there? And that, if you're going to look at it from that perspective, well, yeah, of course that makes sense. But the thing is that Sheol isn't for people who are alive. It's for people who are dead. And you cannot be alive and dead at the same time. Even if your view on death is different than mine, you still cannot be alive and dead at the same time. You have to be one. If your view on death is life is a disembodied spirit somewhere else, fine. But it's still death. It's not being alive. And it basically comes down to this now. It comes down to, do our bodies go there? And if you're going to read this saying that these men were taken down alive, bodies and all, into Sheol, well, then now you're saying now we have bodies in Sheol, bodies in a place of torment. But even proponents of the doctrine of the immortal soul don't believe that. They believe that they're in a disembodied state after death. And if you're going to teach that there are bodies down there, physical bodies, well, now you're teaching that, well, when you die, you leave this body, your soul goes into a temporary body in a place of torment. Then remember, there's going to be a resurrection of the body of the righteous and unrighteous. So then you leave that body again to come up to this body where you're punished and then have that body thrown into the lake of fire. God doesn't have bodies just laying around where he's just going to move your soul back and forth. That doesn't make any sense. And that makes the entire doctrine of judgment just redundant. To be in torment, to go to torment, to wake up, be resurrected, be tormented, and thrown into torment. That doesn't make any sense. So you can't use number 16 to push the doctrine of the immortal soul, because if you're, at best, then you still have to say that your body is alive, and that just doesn't make any sense. Because is the tree of life in Sheol? Are they going to be eating from that? How are they going to live down there forever in bodies? That doesn't make any sense. That was a metaphor. That was God saying they're going to be brought down alive into Sheol. They were alive. God opened the earth. They died. Now they're in Sheol. They're resting in Sheol until eventually they're going to be judged and punished horribly for all their sins they've ever committed, with nobody to mediate for them because they rejected the Lord. Very easy to understand once you get a grasp on that concept. Once you're able to understand that the other views just fall short. There's too many discrepancies there. But yeah, like I said, once you understand what Sheol is, once you understand this passage here, you realize that's not what God's saying at all. I'll read it one more time for you guys. Just try and read it here with new eyes. But if the Lord creates a new thing, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into Sheol, then you will understand that these men have rejected the Lord. Now it came to pass, as he finished speaking all these words, that the ground split apart under them, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, with their households and all the men with Korah, with all their goods. So they and all those with them went down alive into Sheol. The earth closed over them, and they perished from among the assembly. Something else I want to say, a lot of people believe that Sheol is like a ghost lounge in the center of the earth. This is one of those. I think there's one or two, maybe two other passages that doctrine is built on. This is one of them. Sheol is not a big ghost lounge in the middle of the earth where every once in a while God will open the earth and let bodies come down to. That's not what Sheol is. Sheol is the common grave, resting place of the dead, the abode of the dead. That's all it is. So, like I said, try and read that again with new eyes, and I hope this teaching blessed you. Shalom.